Hello everyone and welcome to Golden Nova's First React, where I react first to all the things you want to see reacted to first, as long as I'm the first person you come to react to things first. And in a bid to mean it this time, we're talking about the legendary Arc V deck cards that were just revealed. We've got Speedroid, we've got Lunalight, and we've got Odd Eyes, and I'm excited for at least two of those things. I've seen the artwork for these, but I've made sure to hold off on the effects because we're going to figure these things out together. What's going on with these updates? Let's start with Speedroid Daruma Knocker, a level 4 wind machine tuner monster with 200 attack and a 1600 defense. If this card is in your hand, you can send a Speedroid card from your deck to the graveyard to special summon this card. Also, you can't special summon for the rest of the turn except wind monsters. We have a circular! If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add one Speedroid spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. Then if you control a Clearwing monster, you can destroy one monster on the field. Okay, so the idea here seems to be that you want to go for a Clearwing Synchro monster so that you can use this as Synchro material, get the search, and then pop a card. Non-targeting, which is really nifty, but because it's tied to the search, you can Ash it, but it's kind of like just bonus points. You might be able to chain block it if there's other effects that trigger on summon. I'm just not familiar enough with Speedroids to know what a good send is off of this. I'm sure that Vampire Ian's going to have a react about this as soon as possible, and you can hear from them because they are the Speedroid expert. They will know what the best thing to send off of this is. What is it, like a level 3 non-tuner that we can special summon when sent to the graveyard? I feel like that would be something similar to that would work out. This seems like a pretty good starting point. Okay, next up is Lunalight Scarlet Tiger, a level 5 Dark Beast Warrior monster with 1900 attack and 1500 defense. I didn't think we would be seeing such a high-leveled one. If you activate a Lunalight monster effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then if you activated this effect during the turn your opponent activated a card or effect, you can add a Polymerization from your deck or graveyard to your hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, Fusion Summon, you can special summon a Lunalight monster from your face-up extra deck or graveyard except a level 5 monster, but it can't activate its effects. Ooh, okay. So, as long as you do anything Lunalight related, this comes out. It gets you a Poly if they've done anything this turn, so this could trigger on your own turn in like after your opponent's on like a Perulia or something. And getting more access to Polymerization is nice, because it's more fusions. It also recurs your monsters so that you can... No, that's pretty slick, because as long as they're properly summoned, you can get your higher level Lunalight monsters, and a lot of them require specific materials, so as you fusion climb, you can get them back. The issue is that they can't activate their effects, but it doesn't negate their effects, so any of them that have their protection is still going to apply. And it pulls from the face-up extra deck, so... What is it? I think it's Wolf? Wolf is the one that gives us the piercing damage, right? Because as a Pendulum spell, Wolf is a Miracle Fusion, but as a monster, it gives all of us piercing, which is funny because that's not an activated effect, so that will still apply here. And I guess Tiger's also a good choice because that triggers when they get popped, so... There's that thing it triggers when they get popped. It's been a while since we've done Lunalight Explained, folks, but this seems pretty nifty. This seems alright. Once again, not familiar enough to know what the more advanced plays would be, but I don't think that it's a bad include. Alright, Odd Eyes Soul Blaze Dragon, a level 8 Light Dragon Synchro Monster tuner with 2000 attack and 2500 defense, requires generic materials. If this card is special summoned, you can special summon a face-up Pendulum monster from your extra deck, but you can't special summon except Pendulum monsters while you control that face-up monster. If this card is in the graveyard, you can banish 2 other monsters, Fusion, Synchro, Ixies, or Pendulums from your graveyard to special summon this card, and you can only use one effect of this card per turn and only once per turn. So that means that you can't use its second effect to summon itself and then get a free monster. It effectively only happens when you Synchro summon it or if you use another effect to special summon it. I don't think this is a new card. I remember seeing this beforehand, and I am outrageously confused as to what the applications for this card is. Presumably you would want to bring it, like, you have to make a Pendulum-esque monster with this, so maybe you get a level 8 Pendulum and then you overlay for like a rank 8 Xyz Pendulum monster. I don't know. This card confuses me greatly. But the thing that caught my eye the most out of all these reveals, the thing that let me know that we had these cards available to talk about, was Odd Eyes Override Dragon. We have added links to the Odd Eyes rotation. They had everything up till this point. Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, Link monsters, rituals even. But now we're adding Pendulum's best / worst friend, if you consider that links were the things that initially debuffed them, but are now completely reliant on them. Let's see how this works. Link 3 Light Dragon monster, 2500 attack, has bottom left, bottom right arrows, the perfect arrows that you want for Pendulum summoning. Requires 2 or more monsters, including a Pendulum monster, so this should be exceedingly easy to make off of what? Beyond the Pendulum? You can target one other card you control, destroy it, and if you do, draw a card. And that's it. Sounds like Electromite to me. During your turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect as a quick effect, you can discard a card to negate the effect. What? So it's an Omni Negate for your turn, for your turn, not their turn, for your turn, to help push through stuff. You can only use the preceding effects of this card once per turn. If you destroyed a Pendulum monster card by this card's first effect during your main phase of this turn, you can conduct one Pendulum summon of Performapals, Magician Pendulum monsters, and or Odd Eyes monsters in addition to your Pendulum summon. That is a continuous effect that grants an additional Pendulum summon. And it does not say from where, so there's no restrictions, just the kinds of monsters that you can summon. That's gross. That's gross, right? It's one of the best additional Pendulum summon effects I've ever seen. It doesn't require some goofy setup where your stuff gets negated. It doesn't only let you summon from particular spaces. This seems really, really good. Uh-oh. Folks, you wanted Electromite back. Well, here it is. Kind of. Okay. So that's all of the legendary cards, but as you might have noticed, we have not talked about some other themes recently. So we're going to go ahead and talk about some other reveals, and then I'm going to tack on another video that I recorded but never uploaded. So we've got a lot going on from here, so just keep an eye out. We've got some reacts to do. First up, we have some more overframes. First up, we have something from the utility selection. Silent Honor Arc Knight Soul Asylum. Shark Knight. Learning that all this stuff was shark puns. Not recently, but it was far later than it should have been. Blew my mind. And now knowing that the effect's name is Soul Asylum, because I think that's the thing. These are all signature attack monsters. That's a wild name for an effect. So Silent Honor Arc Knight Soul Asylum is a rank 4 Water Aqua Xyz monster with 2100 attack and 1000 defense, requiring 2 level 4 monsters as material, much like the original. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. You can detach a material from this card, then activate one of these effects. Choose a level 4 monster in your graveyard, accept the detached material, and add a level 4 monster with the same type and attributes, but a different name from your deck to your hand, or target a monster your opponent controls and attach it to this card. And second, if this card would be destroyed, you can detach a material from this card. Okay, so these things are basically just the original, barring the fact that this only requires one material. The original needed 2, so you would make it, you would steal something, and then you had a 2100 attack monster that had damage or destruction protection. So now you can just infinitely do this turn after turn because the cost is reduced by 1. This one, I don't know how this factors in. So you pick any level 4 monster, and you gotta grab something with the same type and attribute as the monster that you picked, but it has to be different from what you selected, and it can't be what you detached. So you need to have another level 4 monster waiting in the wings to search out. But then it is a tutor. For decks with a mono attribute, mono type, it's a tutor. It only grabs other level 4 monsters, though, so it's not like an Omni Tutor for anything like that. Which seems weird because my first thought was, oh, you could play this in shark decks. There are water aqua monsters or water fish monsters everywhere. You can just grab those. But because it's only level 4, it's going to miss out on a bunch of the monsters that level modulate. I'm sure there's a bunch of level 3s and 5s that this won't get, but that's being way too concerned about what would be correct for like anime flavor. I don't even know where the flavor for this one would even come from. Once again, I'm relying on all of you down below to let me know why this effect is included in here. Seems nifty. Strict upgrade over Silent Honor Arc, right? Like, aside from the fact that its name isn't actually just Silent Honor Arc to enable the effect of Silent Honor Dark, this is fantastic. This is a cool card, and anyone can use it, and it's always stealing monsters, and that's amazing. So I love to see that. And now we're moving on to some original artwork collection cards with a new Dark Paladin Wave Motion, a level 8 Dark Spellcaster fusion monster with 2900 attack and 2400 defense, requiring a Dark Magician and any level 7 or higher monster, and it must be fusion summoned. So, anyone have any super polymerizations lying around? Everyone's favorite board breaker, super polymerization. It's never been annoying, it's just cool. So it gains 500 attack for every other monster on the field. We're not just sticking with dragons anymore. The Buster Blader theming is out the window. Can attack all opponent's monsters once each. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a spell card or effect, you can negate that effect. Then you can destroy a card on the field. And after this card destroys a card by battle or card effect, it sends it to the graveyard. That card cannot activate its effects while it's in the graveyard. So they also gave it the Hades. Wait, it's even better because it's not just battle. It also counts the things that it destroys by card effects, including spell retaliation. That's so funny. I don't think we've ever had text like that. I think the closest thing that we've had to a monster caring about things being destroyed by, like, a card effect, and then tying its, like, a destruction thing to it from another effect was, like, BM for Blast Spider's burn damaging effect. This is so funny. This is awesome. I dig this. Now, what's also going to be funny is that this has a scaling attack boost, but it based on opponent's monsters, but it also can attack all of them. So you have to actually sequence what you're hitting each time. But then everything it kills is like no effect, no effect, no effect. If you activate a spell card, go away. And it's the card, not the monster, the card. So if there's a spell or trap card with a floating effect and this blasts it, nope, you're not getting anything. This card is so funny. Wait, this card's crazy. Oh, I love this. I love this card. Hold on a freaking second. This card is so cool. This card's really cool. Okay. Last thing for this section, not the future section after this one, which we'll talk about a past react. The last thing that I'm reacting to right now is Senate, which is different from Senate because it can't do anything with Senate Switch. I've been holding off on this forever because these cards have looked so cool, but I am dedicated to making sure that I get all of you my first reactions to all of these cards. But I have been hearing things, including ritual and normal monsters being the focus of this deck. Color me intrigued. If this is zombie stuff as well, based on the Egyptian imagery, then maybe we can get some Vendred stuff going on in here. Alright, let's finally see what the Senates are working with. First, Senate Prophet Nefertari, a level 4 light zombie monster with 0 attack, 1000 defense. You can only use this card's first and second effect once per turn. First, if this card is normal or special summoned, you can send it to the graveyard to show up to 2 normal monster cards from your hand, deck, face-up field, and or graveyard, then set the same number of Senate spells from your deck. During your opponent's turn, as a quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard to equip a normal monster from your graveyard to a ritual monster that you control. Okay, this is going wild off the bat. So, summon it, it goes away, you get to set 2 Senate spell cards, and it's based on normal monsters you can show off. See, what I don't like here is just like... So, I am very concerned about how long games take in Yu-Gi-Oh! I think we're all concerned about that. That's not just a me thing. So any mechanic that involves manipulating the deck feels like it's things that slows the game down considerably, because once you do that, you know, you got to rifle through your 20 to 30 cards that are still in there to find the ones that you're looking for, reveal them, put them back, and then shuffle again. So that's a lot of stuff. And showing from the deck is probably the most relevant. I guess maybe if you already have... I guess maybe not, like... Face Up Field and Graveyard you'll probably show first just to prove it, because that'll get it out of the way, and it's not like it's not public information that hasn't already been there. Hand is in your hand, that's fine, but like, if none of that stuff is established, then the deck is one of the better, you know, is a pretty easy way to pull that information from, and I don't know, something. I wish that wasn't the case. However, effect-wise, we don't know all of it yet, but it's looking interesting. They care about being equipped with normal monsters. Okay. Senate Prophet Amenhotep is a level 4 light zombie, 0 attack at 1500 defense. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can send it to the graveyard, show up to 2 normal monsters from your hand, deck, face up field, and or graveyard, then set that many Senate trap cards. Okay, so it was different. So this is our trap card searcher. Nefertari is our spell card searcher. Second, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target up to 3 normal monsters in your graveyard and shuffle them into the deck. So we just get to recycle all of them. Neat. Though I thought we wanted to have them in the graveyard for this effect, but that's fine. I'm sure it'll all come together. Alright, Senek Nocta Sphinx is a level 12 dark zombie ritual monster with 5,000 attack and 2,500 defense. You can ritual summon this card with any Senate card, and you can only use the first and third effect of this card's name once per turn. Firstly, you can discard this card to add a Senate card from your deck to your hand, except a copy of this card. Okay, good start. This card, equipped with an equipped card, is unaffected by your opponent's activated card effects, so kind of a Towers when we get that normal monster on there. Third, as a quick effect, you can send a face-up normal monster card you control to the graveyard. It's a normal monster card, so even the equipped ones will work. Change as many monsters your opponent controls as possible to face-down defense position, and then you can special summon a normal monster from your graveyard, maybe the one that you just sent. Okay, that's pretty good, so it all just kind of reincarnates itself. Huge body, seems fine. Do we have anything else we can do? Tau Senate, that's kind of threw me off there for a second. Tau Senate Wadjet is a level 8 dark zombie ritual monster with 3,200 attack and 2,500 defense. You can ritual summon this card with any Senate card, and you can only use the first and third effect of this card once per turn. Firstly, you can discard this card to send a Senate card from your deck to the graveyard, so we can go ahead and fill up our graveyard with stuff. Second, this card equipped with an equipped card cannot be destroyed by card effects. That's nifty, not as powerful, but still nifty. Third effect, quick effect, you can send up to 3 face-up normal monster cards you control to the graveyard, then target the same number of cards your opponent controls and return them to the hand or extra deck, then you can special summon a normal monster from your graveyard. So quick bouncing that also reincarnates a monster. I'm kind of with it. Okay, Senetmes Nekbet, a level 6 dark zombie ritual monster with 2,800 attack and 1,500 defense. You can ritual summon this card with any Senate card. You can only use the first and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. Firstly, you can discard this card to add a Senate card from your graveyard to your hand, more recycling. Especially, you can use this to put the other rituals you've discarded back into your hand so you can search other things. It's just like Necros all over again. Secondly, this card equipped with an equipped card cannot be destroyed by battle. Fine, we're lowering our levels, so it only makes sense that we're lowering the protection. Third, quick effect. You can special summon one face-up normal monster card from your spell and trap card zone. And if you do, equip this card you control to it as an equip card that gives it 2500 attack. Okay, alright. That's a pretty big buff. So, and there's no restriction on when you can activate the effect. So if you're going into combat, you can like punch some things, and then you can have Nefertari equip a normal monster. This is only during our opponent's turn that Nefertari does that, right? Yeah, so we can't do this during our opponent's turn. But if we already have one, we attack, and then we swap our normal monster out, like Blue Eyes White Dragon, equip it with Neckbed. Now it's a 5500 attacker swinging in for a bunch of damage. What's the best normal monster that we could run here? I feel like we have like two different avenues so far, because you have your level 4 normal monsters that you could just play normally, but the higher the levels, the more levels you can utilize for tributes for ritual summoning, though we haven't even seen the ritual effects yet, so we'll see if it even plays with normal rules. Alright, Barasinet M. Haru, a field spell card. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. Okay, I was about to say, it's like, the second effect, the first effect says ritual summon, but it's got once per turn on top of it, so you will at least need to have multiple field spells to do multiple ritual summons. So, once per turn, you can ritual summon a Senate ritual monster from your hand or graveyard, so discarding them is no drawback, by sending normal monsters with different names from each other from your hand, deck, and or face-up field to the graveyard whose total levels equal or exceed its level. Then you can equip one normal monster from your graveyard to it. What? If you special summon a non-token normal monster, you can draw a card. Okay, that makes sense. Because we're already summoning it. We already have a bunch of normal monsters anyway, so we might as well have a way to draw. It looks like we're about to be including Piercing the Darkness as a tech card for sure. Keep an eye on that one for the inevitable Senate Explained video. This card is bonkers. It doesn't have an upper. Jesus Christ! It doesn't have an upper limit on how many cards you can send. If you have like 6 level 2 monsters with different names, you can send them all to the graveyard to summon Sphinx and then equip one, so all of their equip effects are immediately live. Good grief! There's no... This doesn't lock you into anything. The downside, of course, is that you have to run enough normal monsters to utilize this, but... Wow! Wow, this card is... And you can search this off of the cat lady! This gets it for you! She has a dual disc! She's playing Senate on her phone! Okay. Next up, Senate per Ach. A normal spell card, you can use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. Firstly, you can add a Senate monster from your deck to your hand, which, because of the rituals, is every other monster, or every other card. Second, if you discard a Senate ritual monster while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card to special summon a non-effect fusion monster from your extra deck with attack less than or equal to any of the discarded monsters as a normal monster card, but for the rest of the turn it can't attack directly. Also, you cannot activate non-zombie monster effects. So walk with me on this. So it has to be less than, right? Attack less than or equal to. So what is the plan here? We go, okay, I play Senate per Ach. I play the spell card. I get a Senate monster from my deck to my hand. This goes to the graveyard. These are not mutually exclusive. So we go ahead and grab Sphinx. We pitch Sphinx so that we can grab a Senate card from our deck to our hand. I'm going to say that we're going to grab Nefertari just for other stuff in the future. So this will trigger per Ock. We've discarded a Senate Ritual monster. You can banish this card to summon a non-effect fusion monster with attack less than or equal to any of the discarded monsters. So, hello, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. I'm pretty sure we're clocking the biggest summonable non-effect fusion monster. And it's being summoned as a normal monster card. So it now benefits from any normal monster support. And then we're locked into zombie effects, even though whatever we summon doesn't matter for its effects because it has no effects. It's a normal monster. This is... Okay, I guess we have a restriction. No non-zombie monster effects for the rest of the turn. And it can't attack directly. Dang. Dang, I guess we're just going to have to throw its giant attack points at something else. Okay. Okay. Trap cards. Amduasenet. A normal trap card. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. Ritual summon a Senate Ritual monster from your hand or graveyard by sending normal monster cards with different names from each other from your hand, deck, face-up field to the graveyard, whose total levels equal or exceed its level. Then you can equip one normal monster from your graveyard to it. So this is the Field Spells Ritual effect right here. Second, if a normal monster card you control would be destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. But if you have your giant monster summoned from per Ock, then you can protect it because it's a normal monster. Senate Cataract is a normal trap card. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. Firstly, choose an opponent's main monster zone, or choose an opponent's main monster zones equal to the number of normal monsters and Senate Ritual monsters that you control. This does not say normal monster card, so this will not count back row as far as I know. Negate the first monster effect activated in each of those zones that resolves this turn. That's very funny. That is technically non-targeting targeted negation. Because it can't target the zone. Folks, we may not be able to use Senate Switch, but the effects that it has rippled out from Cyberdark Impact still affect us even today. If the total attack of all normal monster cards you control is 3,000 or more, normal monster cards, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one monster your opponent controls and send it to the graveyard, so it is removal that you can use immediately, because they are not mutually exclusive. And what's this one? Senate Thunder... Boy is here? Okay, well, I was in all kinds of like, oh, what about Blue Eyes White Dragon? Nope. I know exactly who is going to be my deck. Who's going to be in my deck when I play? I know exactly who it is. Yes. Okay. Senate Thunderfall, counter trap card. You can only use the card's first and second effect once per turn each. When your opponent activates a spell or trap card while you control a normal monster or Senate Ritual monster, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Only hits spells and trap cards, no monster effects, but, you know. If the total attack of all normal monster cards you control is 3,000 or more, you can banish this card from your graveyard to set a Senate spell or trap card from your deck or graveyard. Very powerful, holy cow. Yeah, these are all non-effect fusion monsters that you can summon. You can summon Sea Monster of Theseus! Oh my god, Sea Monster of Theseus? Crazy. Okay, I went from underwhelmed with Senate, and then we hit the spell card, and I immediately take... They're literally summoning twin-headed Thunder Dragon. What is happening? What is going on here? Is there some lore or thing that I am not getting? Being a theme based on ancient Egyptian board game, members of the Senate archetype feature the typical aesthetics associated with it, with the main deck monsters being humans in pharaonic garbs wielding a dual disc-like device, so I wasn't just being wild with it. I was picking up on what they were putting down. And the ritual monsters being various monsters that they summon during the game. So the ritual monsters are their monsters, and the regular monsters are their duelists. Along with the aforementioned Senate motif, cards within this archetype also reference the in-universe origin of the Yu-Gi-Oh card game as shown in the Pharaoh's Memory arc. Most prominently, the aforementioned dual disc-like device resembling the Dia Dach. We'll compare that in a second. In addition, Senate matches were said to represent Ka, just like Dia. Okay. 1 second. Let's go ahead and pull up a picture here. So we've got... They both have dual discs on. They both kind of do. But this one has like the dual disc. And then we got this over here. I'm going to make sure I've got the screen pulled up here. So this is all... There's that. It's kind of the wing design. I don't necessarily see... The wing design is kind of like... the big part of this, and this does not have the wing design on it. It's just like, if anything, it's like the original Beyblade dual disc. These cards are wild. Sphinx is looking pretty slick. Wadget's looking pretty good. Okay, I don't know what else I can say about this. This is a wild concept for a theme, and you know, if it's Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon again. It's Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon again as a watery Thunder Blast. Does that mean? Hold up. Are we gonna see this guy? Are we gonna see him as a card at some point? Are we some of that? Folks, the Yu-Gi-Oh reboot has dropped. If you were looking for the Yu-Gi-Oh reboot, we found the Yu-Gi-Oh reboot. Okay. I'm going to pass you on over to Pass Nova to talk about some other cards. God, I swear I just looked at them. There's like the Doriato stuff. Oh yeah, and the Umbral Horrors thing. Umbral Horror First Dragon's in there as well. So, yeah. Give it a watch. Thank you for sticking around here. Let me know what you think about these cards. These cards were kind of cool. Like, I think Override Dragon is like the craziest thing to happen to Pendulums ever. I think these two overframes, especially the Dark Paladin Retrain, is bonkers. But the Senate cards are kind of throwing me, and I went from having zero interest in the first 4 cards to being completely invested. So let me know what you think down below, and I will see you in a few seconds with Pass Nova. Bye. Bye-bye. I didn't have a lead out for this one, so instead we're going to talk about Elemental Saga Doriato. That lady is getting a frame break. What is she doing today? Level 7 light spellcaster monster with 2400 attack and 2800 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn, and neither player can activate cards or effects in response to the activation of this card's effects. Delicious spell speed 4. If you have 3 or more attributes in your graveyard and this card is in your hand, you can target one monster in your graveyard and special summon it and this card. Second effect, if you have 3 or more attributes in your graveyard, you can special summon one monster from your deck with a different attribute from the monsters in your field and graveyard. And these can't be responded to? This one's... Okay, so this one's not... So this is weird, right? So obviously this first one is kind of wild. 3 or more attributes, you get to summon this card from your hand. And one monster from your graveyard of your choosing. If you're running a deck that utilizes multi-attributes, then this card is just like a monster reborn with extra upside. If you can utilize a free level 7 spellcaster, you can do something with this. The second one's a little weird, so you still need to have the 3 or more attributes in your graveyard to special summon a monster from your deck with a different attribute from the monsters on your field and in your graveyard. So if you are running a multi-attribute deck, you can eventually run out if you fill your graveyard with enough monsters. That second effect is a little tricky. Looking forward to seeing how that works out. I've got some misgivings, but this seems like a fun tech card, so I'm happy to see it. Next, we have some more cards for what I believe is the Light and Darkness Ritual pile, including Black Skull Dragon, the Archfiend Dragon of Unity. I love Black Skull Dragon. It looks so good, and they've given a little gremlin pose for this one. I saw some side-by-side shots that this and the other card we'll be talking about are taken from the poses from the manga, so that's pretty slick. This card is a level 9 Dark Dragon Special Summon Effect monster with 3200 attack and 2500 defense that cannot be normal summoned or set and must be special summoned by its own effect. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. First effect, you can discard a quick play or ritual spell card to special summon this card from your hand in defense position. That's the only way you can do it. Secondly, if this card is special summoned, you can set a spell or trap card that mentions Light and Darkness Ritual from your deck or graveyard. And third, at the start of the battle phase, you can make your opponent lose 800 life points, and if you do, this card gains 800 life points. That's 800 life points. It gains 800 attack. That's how that works. Let's lighten things up just a pinch. There we go. Okay, so this seems fun. So the thing about the Light and Darkness Ritual cards is that on the surface they can seem bad, but actually they're busted as all hell. Discarding a ritual spell doesn't mean anything when your ritual spell says, hey, you can just put me back in your hand along with another monster if you want to. Being able to get any of your Light and Darkness Ritual cards is a little silly. The last effect is it's just kind of fun. It's like a tax on going to the battle phase, and if you can get this into attack position, then this becomes like a 4K beater, which is presumably why it only summons itself in defense position to give ourselves some time. Though notably, I am just realizing that is a quick effect, so turn 0, or at the end of an opponent's turn, you can just pitch the card, summon this in defense position, and then it goes to attack position on your turn, and then you can do some sweet stuff. That's pretty fun. And then we have Spell Shattering Sword, a quick play spell card. Hey, we were just talking about discarding those. You can activate one of these effects, but you can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. Either destroy all face-up spells that your opponent controls, or target a face-up monster that your opponent controls. Show a Light and Darkness Ritual from your hand or graveyard, then change that monster's attack to 0. Also, its effects are negated. And second, if this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by your opponent, you can destroy one card in your opponent's hand at random or their field. Well, that's kind of fun. So, this being a quick play negate is pretty silly, and I believe also recyclable with the effect of Chaos Archfiend. The Summon Skull retrained for this specifically. It shovels in a bunch of cards, so we can keep getting usages out of this. Destroying all spell cards is kind of the more situational version of this, but there are times where your opponent's going to have one or two, and you're all like, how do I get rid of this? And I believe where this comes from, I was looking at the side-by-sides, this is from the, is it Show Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon on here? Kind of. I don't know what context in which Celtic Guard is kicking the ass of Blue Eyes Ultimate, because I'm more familiar with the anime, and that one uses Spell Shattering Arrow, I think, to fuse the Blue Eyes with a big zombie mammoth thing. So this, I believe, is similar, but this effect right here is just pretty cool. Just a pretty slick effect, I would say. So good on them for adding it. Oh, hey, look, Vector. Vector has some cards now. We have Vector time, folks. Everyone say hi to Vector. Everyone's favorite guy, Vector. Chaos Exceeds Hope Emperor Dragon is a rank 7 Dark Dragon effect monster with 0 attack and defense, requiring 3 or more level 7 monsters as material, but you can also Xyz summon this card by using one number C monster you control with a number between 101 and 107 in its name. Transfer its materials. So this is like, well, I mean, Barian Emperor is kind of right there in the original name, so this is kind of like that. It gains 1,000 attack for each material attached to it. Makes sense. Second, your opponent cannot add cards from the deck to their hand while this card has a number C monster as material, except by drawing them. Gross. Third, once per turn, you can detach an Xyz material from this card. Attach the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck to this card. Oh, so this is going to just keep getting material over and over again. It's going to gain 1,000 attack every turn. That's big unfortunate. You never really have to, unless you attached a number C monster only by itself. You're never going to have to detach this one. And then just keep eating stuff. This seems fun, though. It seems kind of like a fun card. Not super powerful, but it seems fun. Shining Umbral Horror. This is the Masquerade. Everyone's favorite canine card, Masquerade. Level 4 Light Fiend, 0 attack, 2,000 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. First, if you normal or special summon an Umbral Horror monster and or a Masquerade Xyz monster, hey, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, draw a card. Then, if you drew an Umbral Horror monster, you can special summon it. And this card can be treated as 2 materials for the Xyz summon of a number monster that requires 3 or more material. That's getting pretty prevalent with these Barian cards, and honestly, they could use the help. V Umbral Horror is a level 4 Dark Spellcaster monster with 500 attack and 1500 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add a Umbral Horror monster from your deck to your hand, except a copy of this card, and you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target a Masquerade Xyz monster that you control to special summon from your extra deck a number monster that is 1 rank higher than that monster you control by using it as material. This is treated as an Xyz summon, transfer its materials. Okay, this is turning into a thing where Nova's going to need to pull up the Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro deck and put Umbral Horror into the search terms, because these cards are bad, right? These cards are terrible. These cards are dumb and bad. Oh, I guess a Masquerade is an... I thought the whole Masquerade line was divorced from the Umbral Horror stuff. What it looks like, I don't know. Next to nothing. Okay, Ghoul summons out 0 attack Umbral Horrors, which unfortunately V Umbral Horror is not. That's very funny. That's stupendously funny. Okay. I don't think there's anything that's going to help me super much. That is 1 rank. It's a rank up magic for the Masquerade Xyz monsters, so that's pretty good, and then that lets us turn that version into our new Chaos Barian guy, so that's kind of funky. Gorgonic Umbral Horror is a level 4 Dark Rock monster with 1200 attack and 0 defense. You can only use the first and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. Firstly, if you control no monsters or all monsters you control are Umbral Horrors, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, add a non-rock Umbral Horror monster from your deck to your hand. You cannot special summon from the extra deck except number Xyz monsters, and this card can be treated as 2 materials for the Xyz summon of a number monster that requires 3 or more material. We are going to be stacking as many of those as possible. What was the thing I wanted to talk about on one of these? Okay. It was searching out Shining Umbral Horror. The problem here is that it is if you normal or special summon an Umbral Horror monster, you can special summon this card. Not if you control them, you can special summon it. So searching it, I don't think is enough for us to just drop it out of the hand immediately. 1,000 Umbral Horror is a level 4 Dark Fiend monster with 0 attack and defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. Quick effect, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard to place a 7th Barians from your hand or deck in your field zone face up. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck until the end of your next turn except Xyz monsters. And if an Xyz monster is special summoned while this card is in the graveyard, you can special summon this card. Also, you take no damage from your card effects for the rest of this turn. Okay, so we're setting some stuff up. We send this, get our 7th Barian, which we are going to look it up now so that we know what's going on here. Wait a sec. Seventh Baryons is a thing that we will be talking about later, so we do not know what this does. So, okay. I thought I was missing out on something. So we're going to have an effect that puts us in the field zone, and then we have one that brings itself back if we summon an Xyz monster. Good stuff. Okay. Number 104, Masquerade Vein. Oh, when it said Masquerade Xyz monsters, we are making it a whole-ass archetype. Okay. Rank 4 light spellcaster with 2700 attack and 1200 defense, requiring 3 level 4 monsters as material. But because it is a number monster, we have a few that help get this into play. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. Firstly, once per turn, you can detach a material from this card to add a Baryons Spell or Trap card from your deck to your hand. Very good. Second, a monster Xyz summoned using this card on the field gains this effect. If it is Xyz summoned, activate this effect. Your opponent can banish 4 monsters with different attributes and 1 spell from their deck. If they do not, you banish the top 10 cards of their deck. So, you pick 5 or you don't pick 10. That's it. And you better have a very specific one. With decks having a bunch of hand traps, there's a better chance for people to be able to stop this, but I'm sure this is thematic in some way, but I don't like the mental load of all of this. You have to keep your entire deck list in mind and then like try to figure out like, do I have the right attributes to be able to do this, and if so, is this worth it? I don't know. That seems like a lot for what amounts to banishing a bunch of cards. I'm not a fan. Next is number Chaos 104, Masquerade Umbral Horror Victory. Very Geats sounding name. Rank 4 Dark Spellcaster, 3000 attack, 1500 defense, requires 4 level 5 monsters as material. Once per turn, as a quick effect, you can detach a material from this card, then target a card your opponent controls and destroy it. Just dry things, it's fine. Second, if this card battles an opponent's monster during damage calculations, you can make this card's attack and defense become that opponent's monster's attack and defense, whichever is higher, plus 100 during damage calculation only, so it wins all battles. Third, if this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, send a random card from their hand to the graveyard, and if you do, have their life points. Very mean. Very mean card. Not quite as proactive as the Umbral Horror Masquerade that we are used to. If anything, this might be a little worse, but I guess there's more to play with, so that's pretty good. Alright, Seventh's Baryon. Seventh's Baryon is a field spell card. You can only use the second and third effect of this card's name once per turn each. Firstly, each player can only special summon non-number monsters from the extra deck while this card is face up on the field twice per turn. Okay, so you get 2 non-numbers, and then that's it. Second, during your main phase, you can add an Umbral Horror monster from your deck to your hand, then discard a card. Pretty classic. Third, during the end phase, each player takes 400 damage for each Xyz monster on the field. So that's why 1000 Umbral Horror, Mr. Dawn's effect is in play here, because we are mimicking Sargasso the DD Lighthouse to punish players for having Xyz monsters, except 1000 lets you not take damage from that effect. And then presumably you could keep doing this every turn by like it being used as material, and then it goes to the graveyard, and then you Xyz summon, and then it comes back. So you can just keep damaging your opponent over and over again. I guess notably, this only protects you from damage for the rest of your turn when this is summoned. But Seventh Baryons works during each end phase, but I guess being able to skip every other turn is pretty good. Search card, Semi-Floodgate. I think what gets me here is that this first effect does not have a qualifier. It doesn't say while you control an Xyz monster or while you control a number monster. No, this just says you only get 2 non-number special summons from the extra deck, and that's it. So this could see play in a number of decks looking to lock out the extra deck, or at least lock it out in a way that keeps them from utilizing it too deeply. These cards are nifty. I also swear that I saw another
card that was like Umbral Horror Vein or Masquerade Vein being like saved from something, but I can't find it, and it appears that I will not be finding it while we are recording this video. So, oops. I guess we missed something. Look at a couple of other pages off the screen. These are fine, interesting. We have more ways of doing 3+ material cards. There are people out there who love this character. They love Vector, and you know, I am one who luxuriates in good old bastards. So I can see why people would love Vector, but personally, I have not caught the bug, so I do not have any expectations, or I'm looking forward to any of these, especially because some of these cards are just mean for the sake of it, and I don't think, like, there's people who rail against stun cards because you know, the effects are basically playing less of the game, and I can kind of see the argument, but in a game that has strategy, there has to be some room for cards that interrupt opponent strategies, because that is a kind of engagement with those properties. But some of these cards are just functionally difficult to resolve. I would not be surprised if half the time people just said, take my top 10, I don't even want to think about it. Even though there might be a more optimal combination of monsters. And I'd have to be playing all these attributes anyway. Like, let's hope that my hand traps can cover all of this, but maybe I want to even draw them. So, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see how these play out. I don't expect them to go anywhere. Next up, dual terminal time, folks. We have another dual terminal dragon. Ekajar, the descendant of the ice barrier. So this is like all 3 of the dragons fused into one. Like, Trishula is already a dragon with 3 heads, but this is the Trishula head, the Brainiac head, the Gungnir head. This is them put together. Level 9 Level 9 Water Dragon Synchro Monster, 3000 attack, 1000 defense, requires generic material. You can only use the first, second, and third effects of this card's name each once per turn. Firstly, if this card is synchro summoned, you can discard a card to banish 2 cards from your opponent's field and or graveyard. Pretty nifty. Second, if your opponent special summons a monster, you can banish a card from your hand to return 1 card in either field or graveyard to the hand. So you can trade out some cards, recycle your own, or mess with your opponent's. Third, if this synchro summoned card is sent to the graveyard during your opponent's turn, so you can't utilize it during your own, you can banish 1 card from their hand at random, field, or graveyard. Okay. This seems just good. It is generically good. If your deck has access to level 9 synchro monsters, and I know a few of them that are out there, I think they're going to benefit. It is a water monster that says banish cards. So if Goaties can act as level 9 monsters, I know just the person I'm talking about when it comes to Goaty Lions. This card is unrageous. You're banishing your own cards. Oh man, if only my monsters had effects when they were banished. Gee whiz, dang it. Yeah, this card is solid. This is a cool card. And then we have more Sacred Beast. Heavenly Destruction of the Sacred Beasts is a quick play spell card. You can only activate one of these effects. You can only activate 1 card of this card's name per turn. When your opponent activates a card or effect in response to the activation of your Sacred Beast monster effects, negate that opponent's effect. So it's a, hey, get your hands off of my stuff. That's what the big hand is coming out of the gate, being all like, F you, stop doing that nonsense quick play hand crap shit. Second, reveal a level 10 Sacred Beast monster in your hand. Discard a card, and if you do, add an Illusion Gate from your deck to your hand. Very, very fun Raigeki Monster Reborn combo, Illusion Gate. Or third, shuffle 3 Sacred Beast trap cards from your grave and or banishment into the deck. Then target 1 card your opponent controls and destroy it. So this is more ways to recover the big bad triple trap card that turns us into removal. Very flexible card. Notes, this card's 2 effect adds Illusion Gate because of the card's name. Genma no Tobira, which would be basically in context Gate of the Sacred Beasts. Okay. I guess it also kind of makes sense because the word phantasm gets thrown around involving the sacred beasts. And what is a phantasm if not some kind of illusion? Second, this card's name is likely a play on Raviel's attack, Heavenly Devastation Fist, which was localized as Shimmering Scraper, hence why we're going with Shimmering Shatterer. Shimmering Shatterer. Shim Shiminy, Shim Shim Shiroo. Okay, these cards are nifty. I wish I could find that one card that I was missing here. I feel like it might bring this whole Umbral Horror catastrophe to a satisfying conclusion. I don't know why we don't. Oh. There's comments right now. There are comments right now saying, "Oh no, Nova doesn't know." I checked the page on another one. It turns out that that this ad thing at the bottom was not, in fact, demarcating the end of the article. There are, in fact, more Umbral Horror cards to talk about. Wow, I'm very good at this. Okay, glad we double checked. Let's go over Barion's Hope. This was the card that I was talking about. Holy cow. Barion's Hope is a normal spell card. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. Firstly, you can special summon an Umbral Horror monster or Masquerade Xyz monster from your hand or graveyard. Then you can make the levels of all Umbral Horror monsters you control become the level of one Umbral Horror monster in your field or graveyard. Second, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Xyz monster that you control. Attach a number Xyz monster from your extra deck or graveyard to it. Dangerous stuff. This lets us cheat out the higher forms of the Umbral Horror monsters. Umbral Horror, the Chaos Xyz monsters, and then just attach the smaller version of it, which can be used universally. All this says Umbral Horror Masquerade. We don't care about that. All we care about is this one right here. But this is also really good. It's a Monster Reborn or a Turbo. It changes the levels to match an Umbral Horror monster, but like there's one level 1/1 that exists. The rest of these are level 4, so I guess it just in general is there to help make sure they're all level 4s, or heck, make them all level 1 so that we can play some truly heinous rank 1 monsters. So this is a good card. Barion's Seal. Barion's Seal. That's the Dawn 1000 thing right there. That's the Dawn. Counter trap card. You can only use the first and second. You can only use one of the 1 and 2 effects of this card's name once per turn, and only once per turn, so they are mutually exclusive. Firstly, when your opponent activates a spell or trap card or a monster effect, and you control a CXC's monster or a number C monster with a number between 101 and 107 in its name, negate the activation, and if you do, attach one monster from either field or graveyard to your Xyz monster. So Omni negate, and you get to scoop something up. And then second, you can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon 2 Umbral Horror monsters from your graveyard. Oh, okay, so you just get to friggin' get a free board. That's fine. No, don't negate the effect or anything. Just summon them. Okay, glad we caught those. Those are some pretty nifty cards. Still, I don't know. I mean, I guess the cards are fine. But I'm just not super excited about them. But maybe you will have something different. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on the Umbral Horror cards. Is there something that I am missing? Are there some capabilities that they can now do that make them more dangerous than they appear to be? I want to hear all about them. Let me know down below what your thoughts are, as well as on all of the other cards that we have here. I am definitely looking forward to playing some more Light and Darkness ritual stuff with these new cards. Let me know all your thoughts down below, and until the next time, Konami drops some juicy spoilers. I'll see all of you next time. Bye-bye.
Today's episode is brought to you by Dragon Shield. Get the sleeves as strong as dragon scales and save 5% on your order by using the coupon code GoldenNova at checkout while helping out the channel. It was also brought to you by my lovely patrons, including this month's illustrious Quasar Commanders, Upstairs Media and Ignavius, Nebula Navigators, 3rd Dynasty, Adam Zajdel, Ancient Wizard, Andrew Newman, Battle Axe,
Beastsman, Charlie Mercury, Christopher Fuss, Clockswork, Eric, Frankie, Great Big Pillock, Groog, Hair Bear, Harry the Ominous Benefactor, Iron Zero, Iskander 711, Japan Man, Carp, Marion James E. Picata, Meme King, Muse Clark, Neon Yaminair, Orozco 09096, Rebel King Lucifer, Red Eyes Jackalow, RJ the Jank Monarch, That One Dumbass, The Critic of Innocence and The Wizard Moose, Cosmic Crusaders Animasta, and Thorak, Anything You Can Say, Blitzwolf, Chaz Ghost, Christopher Fuss, again, Cool Trainer Dark, Detenchi 67, Dr. Entity RIP, Drachenwald, Eki Bullock, Eva Padilla, Herbal D, Inblink, J.A. Flair, Julian Marquis, Kale the Dragon, Kryptonian Blurred, Lobomaru 02, Manga Pages, Millennia Asta, Mr. Machina, Natiel Lee Alexander, Not Al Gore, Obsidian, Papa Cosmic, Puppycorn Game King, Rhyme Kairos, Rogue Wolf, Seraph SG, Shizuki Nijimura, Simic Toadstool, Stephen Huntsman, The Legendary Raven, The Queen of Time, Tiger X2476, Tristan O'Meara, Rider 2400, Zayden, Zaldreka, and Azentha, as well as all the lovely Starlight Explorers you see on screen now. If you'd like to help me in my journey to cover all of Yu-Gi-Oh's archetypes, get my videos early, be a part of these credits and other awesome perks, it would mean the world to me if you would check out the link to my Patreon in the description or consider joining as a YouTube member.